What's up, teammates? What a wonderful game. We lost, but me personally, it was a wonderful game. I learned about a lot about our Raiders this game, and I understand now. I understand why people want Antonio Pierce fired. Looking through eyes that aren't hopeful eyes and eyes that are a little more rigid, Antonio Pierce has not learned to coach as he should have. That decision to go for it on 4th and 7, I believe it was, right before the fourth quarter, and then not get it, give them a opportunity at 3 free points that they turned into 7 free points is something that a head coach should understand that that's not something that you should try. I mean, I'm sitting in the stands hollering my head off as hard as I can. Please no, please no. And he did it anyway. God, I think 90% of us, let's go 60% of us, in between 60 and 90% of us was like, what in the F are you doing? Like, the game's still in reach right now. We're right there. Why put this pressure on Aiden O'Connell right now? Why throw the ball 3 times in a row? Actually, 4 times in a row to try to get this first down. When it's the halftime coming up and you're right there in the game. Right there. Those mistakes can't be made. You can't make the decisions that everybody in the entire world can see is the wrong decision and keep your job. I want AP to be the head coach because I believe the team and the players want AP as their head coach. One or two coaching / quarterback decisions can change a game. Most definitely. 2 or 3 decisions, whether it be 2 or 3 completions, 2 or 3 play calls, 2 or 3 timeouts in the correct time, is the difference between the games. I understand that more clearly. And when I think about Aiden O'Connell, as much as I like him as a quarterback, as much as I believe in his abilities to get back there, let the ball go, and get us positive yards, I did the numbers. And numbers say that Aiden O'Connell is about 6 percentage points from being a good quarterback. Right now, I looked at the numbers. I saw what Bo Nix was doing, what Jaden Daniels was doing, with even Caleb Williams to a certain extent. To a certain extent. Not Caleb Williams balling, but he is doing this that Aiden O'Connell is not doing, and that can't be changed. Aiden O'Connell is completing at 55.5%, and the other quarterbacks in the league that people are talking about trying to get are completing at 60% or higher. Man, that's the difference. It's crazy, right? It's crazy how football is. It's crazy how close it is from being great to good to bad, right? But looking at it, checking out the numbers, we've been here for the season. We've been looking at everything and we see the way it's been coming down. It's crazy to see that 2 coaching decisions and 5% completion percentage can change the game completely. if Aiden completes one or two more passes on third down, we keep those drives going. And if we don't get touchdowns, we at least those field goals. If Antonio Pierce makes one or two decisions that are incorrect decisions as far as going forward on the fourth down and something else later, there's nothing I can pull out specifically, but that was a big deal. I know you want to win. I know there's a lot going on. I know you want those points, but not in the second quarter. You don't get desperate for points in the second quarter. You get what you got, what you can get in the second quarter. But you know me. Y'all know me. I'm big on take the points. Fourth and anything is fourth and nothing, in my opinion. If you got a field goal and if you got to punt it, that's fine. Fourth and one, okay. That's that. If you got that quarterback, well, we got that quarterback. We got fourth and 80, no problem. Like fourth and Cam, no problem. The problem with Aiden is 5 percentage points. If he makes 5 percentage more points as far as completions go, we're there. We really are. We really are there. Can he improve those 5 percentage points? I think so, but I don't know so. I'm not sold so. Okay? Here we go. This was Aiden's game to prove it to me. He went up against a motivated Justin Herbert and a motivated Chargers team, and they were able to take advantage of him. He made that mistake, and like I said, 5 percentage points. One interception, a couple of incompletions that could have led to first downs, that could have kept drives alive, and he's a great quarterback. Without those, he's good, maybe mediocre, and maybe right where everybody else was saying where he's been from the beginning, at a talented backup who could stay there and win games, but he's not that next level. And I've been saying, I'm waiting for him to prove it to me one way or the other. And I believe if he'd have went out there and destroyed the Chargers, that would have proved it to me. It really would have. No one could say anything if we went out there and destroyed the Chargers. Or if we went out there and made it like, oh, the very, 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 very last play decided the game. But it wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. It was bad coaching decisions as far as when and when not to go for it. And then it was bad quarterback decision as far as when and when not to force the pass or to make the safe play. And I think that's what happened. And it's right there. It really is right there as far as the NFL goes, because like they say on any given Sunday, it really is just between a few percentage points of who wins and who doesn't. And I realize how percentage points works in that angle as far as how victories and losses go in games. Because if Aiden has 3 or 4 more percentage points worth of passes, worth of completions, which would be 1 or 2 more completions, and hopefully those completions come on third down, we get another chance to get closer for field goal range and spend more time on the clock that they can't get to. That halftime, that interception before the halftime, where Antonio Pierce made a bad call and Aiden O'Connell made a bad pass, is basically what I'm talking about. When I was talking about the overlap of the quarterback and the offensive quarterback coordinator. If your coordinator is only getting 50% of the plays right and your quarterback is only getting 50% of the plays right, it's a 50-50 flip on if it's going to be a perfect play. And like I said, with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Dalton, they each are getting 3 out of 4 plays right, 75% of the plays right. That overlap is about 25%, which means 25% of their calls are freaking perfect, and it's not stoppable. And that's a high number. And that's where they are. They're around 75%. No matter what someone else does, I'm going to complete, makes this happen. So we're not there. We're nowhere near there. And this game was a real opportunity for Antonio Pierce and Aiden O'Connell to show that. Now, I don't believe that this game is what determined if it was Antonio Pierce's team to go forward or if it's Aiden O'Connell's team next year. I still believe, regardless of his performance, that this is Aiden O'Connell's team next year to lose. Even regardless of the head coach. Look, not that I'm super celebrating Aiden O'Connell right now. I see now. I did the numbers. You know I love me some numbers. And what I saw was Aiden O'Connell is at 56% completion rate, and even what's that kid's name? Caleb Williams, with the bad season he's had, he's still at 61% completion ratio. And if we can get Aiden to complete 5% more of his passes, he's there. He really is there. 5% more of his passes, and a half or less turnover game. Not even one less turnover game. Just 1/2 of less of a turnover game, and 5 percentage points completions per game. And he's no doubt a starter to the next level of star. He's right there, but he's not there. And I thought he would be there. I thought he could be there. And you got to understand, 5 percentage points and 0.5 turnovers, it's hard to deflect. You know what I'm saying? And you guys saw it and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it as close as I can. I'm looking at all the numbers as tight as I can. I'm looking at all the games as concisely as I can. And it really is 5 percentage points and 0.5 turnovers away from being a great quarterback. Or at least a game-changing quarterback. And maybe one field goal? Yeah, we'll go 4 points. I want to say 3, but that's probably because I like them. So we'll say, unbiasedly, if Aiden O'Connell can complete 5% more passes, have 0.5 less complete turnovers, and pull in, another half a touchdown, 4 points. 4 points. Another half a touchdown. Now, that's what we need. That's what we need, y'all. We need 5 percentage points in passing. We need 1/2 less turnover. And we need the rest in, what was it? In pass completions. And that's how we win. That's how we win. We're right there. We are right freaking there with Aiden O'Connell. And I swear, I was on it. No doubt. Look, I'm changing the camera up because my sender's wrong because I just came back for the game and I'm kind of on one. I know I'm going to drink a little bit more than I usually do because it's the last game of the season, so F it. But when clarity is here, Aiden O'Connell is close. If he could improve, then he could get us there. That's not a lot of improvement that needs to get there. 5 percentage points, half a turnover, and one more field goal. Just one more field goal. 3.5 points. And he's a star. He's a star player. So I miss it by that much. And I really honestly feel that that's what we need. And if we can get that, then we got to start. And you know what? Honestly, Bo Nix has that. Bo Nix has that 5% passion completion. Bo Nix has 0 turnovers to Aiden O'Connell's 4 turnovers. And really, 0 fumbles, sorry. 0 fumbles to Aiden O'Connell's 4 fumbles. And that's it. It's crazy. And that's why it's any given Sunday, because we're talking about small percentages. Small percentages that make big differences. This game is crazy. Like, I've always watched the game. I always paid attention. I always loved the game. But I've never been so interactive with the game that obviously I've done a podcast about the game. And I'm calling it a podcast because this is going to go more than 30 minutes more often than it isn't. And I'm going to call that a TV show. And if somebody else will call that a TV show, then it's podcast. And that's where I'm at. Doing podcasts. Whatever. Maybe I'm not. What I'm really doing is trying to see the silver lining in all situations when it comes to the Raiders football. And the silver lining that can be found in this game is we know exactly what we're missing. We know exactly what we're missing. We're missing 5 percentage points from a quarterback because if Aiden completes 1 or 2 more passes, just 1 or 2 more passes, we get either closer to a field goal range or we extend the drive that we're already on to get more yardage to make it a deeper punt. And if he could get 0.5 turnovers, which means this game he wouldn't have gotten any turnovers, and they wouldn't have got that 7 points at the end of the game. At the end of the half. And the game would have ended up being 28-20. We still in that game. We 1 pass away from that game. Being as it was, we were 1 pass away from that game in the negative side because Aiden O'Connell is completing 55% when we need him completing 60%. Okay, he's averaging 1.5 turnovers a game, or maybe even 1.75 turnovers a game when we need him to average 1.5 turnovers a game. He's averaging 19, 20 points a game. We need him averaging 22, 23 points a game. So he's there. Like I said, he's there. He's just not past there. And I see that now. I watching this game, watching this situation, seeing what we could have done, what we needed to do against a team that needed to win, that is considered a talented team with a talented quarterback and a talented head coach with a comparable defense and comparable offensive tools. And we lost that game because our quarterback made 1 more mistake than their quarterback did, and our coach made 1 more mistake than their coach did. Or maybe 2. Maybe our quarterback made 2 more mistakes than their quarterback did, and our head coach made 2 more mistakes than their head coach did. And that's why it's a close game like that. That's why we're 1 or 2 scores away from winning. And that's why we are where we are right now. What do we need to do? We need to get a head coach that improves, a quarterback that improves, or we need a head coach and a quarterback to stay together and improve together. What do we do? Because we're right there. We're right there to beating the Chiefs when the Chargers hunker down and really put it down and need to win the game. We're 2 scores away from it, right? We played a solid game. 2 scores away from it. Yeah, although the last score was late and it was Bach and it was, one could call it garbage time. It's still points. And if you look at it from that perception, we stopped them from scoring 3 points. We scored 3 points. We have Antonio Pierce make one more better call, make them have to fight for that last 3 to 7 points instead of giving it to them on the 38-yard line. It's a completely different game. So you'll have to forgive me if I was hoping for the best. Because that is what I was hoping for. I was hoping for Antonio Pierce to learn to not make those 2 bad coaching calls and for Aiden O'Connell to make those 2 more completions, that half a left turnovers, and 3 more points. And that's it. That's where we are, team. That's where we are, players. That's where we are, fans. We are 5 pass completion percentage points, 1/2 a turnover, and 3 points away from being a good team. If we can do those 3 things consistently each game, we win the games that we lost this season. Can Antonio Pierce learn to eliminate those 2 mistakes? Can Aiden O'Connell complete that extra 7% that he needs to create to be a great quarterback? Do we want to start all over and see if we start over with 2 people who are close enough to doing it that we can build them up? That's where we are. That is where we are. I honestly believe that we are 5 pass completion points, 1/2 a turnover, and 3 points away from being a good team, from being a damn good team. Because if we get those things, we win this game. We win the game against a team that's going to the playoffs with a game to go and not really anything to lose but something to play for, right? And they came in and they beat us because they were the better team. But honestly, you can look at score and see how they beat us. But if you were at the game and you watched the game, or if you paid a whole lot of attention to the game, you see 2 or 3 more completions, Aiden not throwing that pick at halftime, and Antonio Pierce not going for it in a bad situation to put Aiden O'Connell in the position to make that bad pass. You see what I'm saying? That's the overlap I'm talking about. That's the 70% good plays on the coach, 70% good plays on the quarterback. We got a 25% perfect play overlap. Right now, I don't think we're 60-60. You know what? I'll say we're 60-60 just because I want to. because I want to say that Aiden O'Connell can pull off 60 to 70% of the plays you put in front of him. I can say that because I think if you pull off 75% of the plays that you put in front of you, you in the right you in the right range, because if you can pull off offense coordinator that's calling 75% of the right plays, then you get there. Right now, we're at 55 and 50. Now, I believe Aiden is at 55. Or maybe Scott Turner's at 55 and Aiden's at 50. Either way, we need a quarterback who's 75%, and we need an offensive coordinator who's 75%. They got to call the perfect play 3 out of 4 times, which is 75% of the time, which is not really that high of a number, honestly. So, with that being said, we really are right there, Raiders. Aiden O'Connell is right there. If he can improve again next year, we're right there. Like Sam Darnold, it took 6 years before he is to where he is right now. The chance that Aiden O'Connell can do the same thing is there. The progress is there. How many years will it take for the progress to become what it needs to be there? Is the problem. He hasn't had enough in-season game time to give him some consistent learning. He really hasn't. He needs a game 1 to a game 17 to get a whole year under his belt for us to look at it and say, okay. We gave him the chance to get those 5 percentage points. We gave him the chance to get that one less turnover, and we gave him a chance to get one more field goal. And he didn't do it. He's out of here. There's nothing to be said wrong about that. No one can deny that to be in the situation. And that's all there is to it. As much as I like Aiden O'Connell, if he can't do that, 75 percentile, we can't win without an offensive coordinator and a quarterback. They can't both hit that 75 percentile. If we can't get 25% of our plays perfect, you can't win. If you get 25% of your plays perfect on offense, and then get 50% of your plays perfect on defense, well, then there you are, right? You're right there at winning 3 out of 4 games, right? We're not there yet. We one stop, one field goal, one turnover, 5 completion percentages points away from being a top-notch team. When we bring our defense back and everybody's healthy, that's going to account for those 3 points. Our defense will get us to those 3 points with Max and Malcolm and Kason and Jacorian and Maybrock. Anyway, the safety with it. Troy Merrick, Timo. He comes back. You know, the kids that are working right now improve by 10%, 15% over the spring training. Pro football is percentages, man. Small percentages. Like I said before, it's percentages and the moment. The thing about Aiden O'Connell is he has the moment. He really does to me. When it comes down to it, if things are called right for him, he can do the right thing. If they don't force him to try to force that ball to Jacoby Myers on fourth down, fourth and 7, this is a different game. If your head coach says no, we're not going to give them that opportunity. We're going to try to pin them at their 1 yard line and try to turn into an opportunity for us. We fucking got Apple Juice Cole. All cool. He can put it right there. AJ Cole had a terrible kick today, and it ended up pinning the team inside the 10. You use that. And Antonio Pierce did not use that. And that's a mistake. You're going into the half. You only got a minute left, and you're on your own territory. Forcing the pass to a wide receiver that you want to get the ball to is not the move. And that's what Aiden O'Connell do. He wanted to get it to Jacoby. He forced the pass in there, and the pass got picked. You can't do that. That's a decision. That's just one single decision that if you make correctly, we're all the way back in the game. The problem is Aiden's around 60%, and Antonio and our offensive coordinator, maybe he's around 60, even 70. I don't know percent. But what I do know is there's not enough overlap for there to be perfect plays for our team. And it's sad for me. I really wanted it to be Aiden O'Connell because the money, the situation, Aiden's story even. Now, I'll lament that the fact that he was coming from nothing to the first, and if he went from where he was to a Super Bowl quarterback, it would have been a beautiful story. And that really is one of the reasons I like Aiden. I really wanted to see him go from the underdog all the way to the top of the echelon of the league and maybe even get him a ring. Maybe and not, what I'm saying? I really want to see his success. And there you have it. There's my admittance to one of the main reasons why I'm full on behind Aiden O'Connell. I just feel like a story like his would be good for people to hear. It'd be nice to tell to somebody that this is how Aiden O'Connell was a Super Bowl champion, got to where he was. And don't give up on what you're trying to do, because look, Aiden O'Connell did it. You can do it too. With that little bit of hope, mostly gone. That 5 percentage points, that turnover and those 3 points, and if you got a good defense, it's only 2 points, one field goal. If you can get one extra field goal with a defense that's going to allow one less point, we win all these games. All of them. All these close ones, we win. Can Aiden O'Connell provide us 3 more points? Can Antonio Pierce make 2 better decisions? Can our defense get 2 more stops to reduce the other team's score by 3 points? That's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we are. From being to right where we here to being competitors. Okay? To being champions, we're looking at the percentages that that Patrick Mahomes and his head coach, whatever his name is, are putting together. We're not there yet. And we're far from being there. And it's going to take a time for us to get there. And if Aiden would have completed 2 more passes, we would be there. Because we'd have had 2 more drives, sustained a little bit longer. One of those drives would have ended up in 3 more points, which would have stopped them from getting hopefully 3 points if Antonio Pierce calls the right calls as far as defense going for it and not to go for it. And there's the ball game. We flip it all the way around and we win. So, and there we are. What do we do from here? Like with the draft, do we try to see if we can get that 5%, that one left turnover, and those 3 points out of Aiden? Because like it's right there. If you throw 500 passes, what's 5%? 50, 50, 50, 50 passes? No, it's not even that. It's 25 passes. If you throw 500 passes and you complete 25 more of those passes, that's a great big difference. It's a big difference. If you play 18 games and you have 9 less turnovers, it's a big difference. And if you lose them by 1 score, but you making a decision as a head coach that is costing you a score like you did in this game, that's too close. It's too damn close. But as a team, we are that damn close. So there's really no reason to be extremely upset with where we are. Aiden's not there. He's not. I understand that. That, like I said, I've been waiting to prove it that I'm wrong. The numbers that I came up with for all the rookies this year and what he did this game, those 5 percentage points is what makes him different. Jaden Daniels is completing around 69%. Aiden O'Connell is completing around 56%. So that's 13 percentage points, which is the reason Jaden Daniels is so much better than Aiden O'Connell. And there it is. Now, with improvement, how many points does he improve? Can he get all 7 of those points improved while we get the 3 points of improvement out of our defense and get the 2 decisions out of our head quarterback or our head coach? Because that's where we are. We're right there. No matter what it looks like on the film, no matter what the record looks like, if we can get those things out of those people in those positions, we're right there competing. And if we can get 4 points, 3 better decisions, and 8% pass completions better, we're a dominant team. Because that's where the other teams are. And we're right there. And that's the reason we're a piece or 2 away. Because 1 or 2 pieces can do that. If we get a super stud wide receiver and a shutdown cornerback, that'll take their points down by 1.5. That'll increase our points by 1.5. That's those 3 points that we need to become a winning franchise. And if that quarterback turns the ball over 1 less time, gets the ball to that star wide receiver 1 more time, and our top-notch defense stops them 1 more time, we turn it around, people. We're not that far away. It's not like we're not the Patriots. We're not the Giants. They're really far away. They really, really are. If you watch their games and you see where they come out and why their wins come, they're not close. They really aren't. We are close. And it's there. And we can find it. It's just so close that it's hard to find that small difference that'll take you all the way there. But we can find it. It's there. We don't have it now, but we can find it. And it's not that far. And the thing about it is, we can develop it. We don't have any time together, right? There's no cohesion. Could cohesion bring 5 more percentage points? Could cohesion bring 1 less turnover? Could cohesion bring 4 more points? Could 2 more years with Aiden and Brock bring a couple more pass percentages up? Considering we're going to put Mike in there, he's going to get a couple more points. And we know what Jacoby Myers is. And maybe we get somebody a little better than Jacoby Myers, right? Then we go on the defensive side, and maybe we get a shutdown lineman, or all our line stays healthy for the whole year, right? Antonio Pierce develops a little bit more, makes 1 less mistake per game. We're right there. We're competitors. We're right there. If Aiden O'Connell and Brock Bowers and Trey Tucker can gain a couple more completion percentage between the three of them, if Antonio Pierce can step back and say, no, we need to punt this one, not give them that chance. Because if we punt that at halftime instead of trying to go for it on 4th and, 11, 9, something, it was long. If we change that, then don't go for it. Or if Aiden O'Connell is that 5 percentage points better and we go for it and he completes it, then we're a different team. If he does that in the half and he makes that completion and he makes the right call, then we're, instead of being at our 38-yard line, we're at midfield with the, you know what I'm saying? And at midfield, you don't want to go for it, and even if you do go for it, you making them have to go for it another 12 yards to get to the end zone. And we didn't have that 12 yards because we made a little bit of a mistake. Aiden threw the pick too soon, and we're too deep into their end zone to make the call that we called as an offensive coordinator. So there we are, as a team, right there. Right away, right there from winning. And hell, if Shedeur Sanders is that much or that much better than Aiden O'Connell, then good. We're stepping in the right direction. If we can find somebody that's a little bit better than the Turner boys, we're stepping in the right direction. Or if the Turner boys develop with whomever we give as starting quarterback, if Aiden O'Connell's not the guy, well, that's 2 points. If we can get our defense to come up a little bit, we'll get somebody else in the draft. They'll learn to work together a little bit better. All our starters are healthy. We're right there at competitors. We're not dominators yet, but we're competitors. We're just a few percentage points, 1 turnover, and 1 or 2 coaches' decisions away from victory. So don't worry about it, people. Don't worry about it, Raider fans. Those percentage points are hard to get to, most definitely, but we can get to them. We're right there. We're at them. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't win this game, but you can't win them all. When clouds get dark. But when you're looking for the bright side, and I got the bright side for you. Close. Right there as a team for winning. Trust me on that. Believe me on that. Come to the silver lining. Guru out.